All right, welcome everybody to our live Zoom session on getting started in your online hybrid or blended course at NCCC. My name is Lisa Dubuck. I'm the coordinator of online learning here at the college, and through that department, we help students and manage Blackboard, all the online hybrid and blended courses. We provide support to faculty and students. So today I want to make sure that you're comfortable knowing what you need to do to get started. Most courses will begin for the spring semester on Tuesday, but you do have access to your courses in Blackboard as of today. And so I'll talk to you a little bit about that and what you should be able to expect when you log into those classes. So the first thing I want to do is just kind of tell you what we're going to cover today. I do want to make sure that you're familiar with the different instructional methods. By that, I mean online, blended, hybrid. Sometimes you're like, what do they all mean? I want to make sure you understand what that means. I'm going to give you a tour of some key resources in Blackboard. I'm going to guide you to our online student success orientation, which is a course that's available. Could take you a few hours to go through inside Blackboard. That if you're new to online learning or these modes, that could be helpful to you. I'm going to give you a tour of my course. I teach online, and I want to show you what a course looks like. Every course will not look the same, but the setup of Blackboard should be similar. So it should be enough to give you a little bit of a tour of how things may look. Now, obviously, faculty have the choice of how much or how little content they put in the course shells in Blackboard, but I just want to show you what they may look like. And the most important part is, how do you get help? Here at NCCC, we have a lot of support for students. Not only my department, Glory, I wanted to point out Glory. She is our student support specialist, and you can want to wave to us, Glory. There you go. So Glory is fairly new with us. She's been here about a month, and we're whipping her into shape, as if you will. She's listening to me deliver this, so she kind of knows everything we cover with students. And I apologize. I've been on Zoom all day. I've been on Zoom. This is my 6th hour of on Zoom today. So excuse me. But Glory is our student support specialist. So if you have questions and you email our online learning department, most likely she'll be getting, she'll help you. Yes. But the other things I want to point out is that even though for, some of you we might be remote for a couple weeks, some of you will continue on with blended courses, hybrid, online, or whatever it may be. We do have the Academic Center for Excellence. And if you've never, I know many students haven't even been on campus, but the Academic Center for Excellence, otherwise known as ACE, is located on the 2nd floor of our Learning Commons, right smack dab in the middle of the college. But they not only have in-person services to help you with tutoring, they do also help if you're struggling with some Blackboard questions, they can also help, but they provide online tutoring as well. So if you're struggling, you can definitely, contact the ACE Center, and they would be able to help you along with us. And then we also have our Student Resource Center, which you may have already received messages from them. You probably have an academic success coach, and they have a lot of services to help students. So, we know this can be a struggling time for students if they're not on campus and don't get to see everybody and kind of walk around. But we have a lot of help. So don't hesitate to ask. We will get you to the right place. We want to help you succeed. So that's the last thing I'm going to cover. So the first thing I did, I posted a link in the chat. It's hard to see this, but I created what's called a Padlet. So the first thing I want to do is I want to know what your burning question is. So if you could go to the link in the chat, it's going to bring you to this document. And I want to, somebody already posted something in there. So I want you to there's a little button, a pink button at the bottom right-hand corner. If you have a question this burning question that you have, I want to make sure that before we're finished in 1 hour, within the hour, that I've answered your question. I've been at the college since 1999. So even if it doesn't relate directly to my department, I most likely know how to answer it. So I see someone in the chat here. Did you see the link that I had posted in there earlier? It's a link to Padlet. Can somebody give me a thumbs up? Do you see it in the chat? okay? So you could click that. So go ahead. If you don't have any questions, that's okay. But if you do, pop them in here and then I'll make sure that we clear this board by the end of our session today.
I don't see the link.
In the chat, I'll post it again.
If you scroll to the top of the chat, you'll be able to click on the link.
I'll post it again. There you go. Oh, I think I didn't post it to all. Oh, everyone. Okay. I think I posted to one student, but there you go. Ryan, do you see the link? It's just above where you just posted in the chat. Okay, perfect. So go ahead. Okay. I see somebody posted, there must be an instructor on here. Who's the Lisa that is an instructor on our session? Oh, it's thanks, Lisa, to me. Okay. We must have somebody that is a teacher on here because they want to know if they can use it with Zoom. Yes, you can use this tool. It's called Padlet. It's free. And I set it up this morning, pretty easy to use, but sure, you could have students post projects, share, you can comment, ask their questions. Of course, you could use this while you're Zooming. That's exactly what I'm doing right now, right? We're using it while we're Zooming. All right, I've got a hybrid class. What do? I've got a blended class. Perfect. All right, so I'll periodically check this to make sure that I know I'm fully confident I'm already going to answer those questions. That's part of my presentation. So I'll come back. If you have some other question, you can pop it in there and I'll make sure that I answer them. All right, so I'm going to go back over to my presentation here and I am going to minimize this window so I can go on. All right. Gloria, you want to give me a heads up that you see the different type that my slide? Perfect. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just make sure you understand all these different instructional methods that we have. And then we'll get to answering some of those questions that you have. So one, you know, the college has face-to-face classes. Those are traditional in-person classes, whatever date and times on your schedule, you show up for class. The problem with this semester is that we are required to be remote till February 1st. So even if your class was face-to-face, you're going to have to be remote for a couple of weeks. So I'll explain how that's going to work in just a moment. We have a lot of online courses. Those are 100% online. That means that you have to log into your course frequently throughout the week and you have due dates and timelines, but you don't have to log on at a specific time. So you don't have to be online at the same time with your class. That's how those online courses work. And I'm going to show you my online course to show you a little example of that. Then we've got hybrid. So the hybrid courses mean that there are some face-to-face classes and then they use, you know, some online activities. So for a hybrid, normally, you know, whatever on your schedule, if it says it's Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday from 11 to 12:15, you would normally plan to go to that class on campus. And then your teacher would tell you, you know, how the online portion is going to work. Now, if you're remote for 2 weeks, you're not going to be able to go to class. So your instructor probably has an announcement with instructions on what you're going to do for the first 2 weeks inside the course shell in Blackboard. We've asked all instructors to post what and how and where, what you should do to get started next week. We've asked them to post an announcement in Blackboard. Now, some of you may have logged into those courses and said some people have announcements and others don't. Faculty just got back from their, you know, their break yesterday. So they may be getting those things posted. You might want to give them a day. If you don't see anything, in a course and you haven't heard from your professor, some of them that email you, if you're, the one thing I would recommend is that you check your college TWIB's email. They may have already emailed you. They could, you might already have those instructions waiting for you inside your email. So if not in your email, it should be inside your course in Blackboard. So they're going to guide you as to what you need to do, because even a hybrid course, you still can't come to campus. There was only a small group of certain courses that were approved to be on campus for the first 2 weeks. The majority are not. Then we have blended. Blended is a fairly new instructional method. It started in the summer. And what that means is that there's scheduled class times, but they're on Zoom. So instead of going to class, you need to log into Zoom for your class, and your professors will take attendance and you will be required to do that work. They may say, we're going to Zoom on Tuesday, Thursday, whatever your class schedule said. And I'm going to show you the example of what that schedule looks like so that you'll know. But either way, the first thing you should be doing is go log into Blackboard, go look into your courses. And I'm going to give you a tour of Blackboard in a moment to see what information your professors have provided you. So the top of this is just a, kind of redacted here, a schedule of what the schedule looks like when you go to print it. This is what it looks like in Banner Web when you go to look for courses. So let me just point a couple things out here. If this was your course schedule, and you can go get that in Banner Web, it's going to tell you a couple key things. One, it's got a title and it says hybrid. So that means this course is hybrid. This is just from a fall course. It says it's going to be held on Tuesdays from 11 to 12:15. If that were the case, and if we were under normal circumstances, right, we got to remember this whole remote thing for a couple weeks, then you would go to class on Tuesday at 11 o'clock in E217, and then this professor would give you further instructions on what you would need to do. A blend course means that the class is going to be on Tuesday, Thursdays from 12:30 to 1:45 on Zoom. So the professor would give you the Zoom link inside your Blackboard course shell so you know how to get the link to log into the course. This particular course says web. This means it's 100% online course. That's why there's no date and time. That means when courses begin on the start date, you log into your course in Blackboard, and that's when you get all the details and instructions on what you need to do, what will be due when, and that sort of thing. Okay, so then this course here was blended. So blend means it's going to be Zoom class, probably with some online activities. Web is 100% online. And hybrid means there's a portion you'll come to class and a portion that you'll do online. For those of you that I can see in my video thing, thumbs up, does that make sense to you? Okay, all right. If we're still confused, I'll try to explain that later. So this here is just when you're looking up courses, in Banner Web, it's very similar. You see hybrid, right? That's kind of, it's going to tell you, is it blended or web? And if it doesn't have any of that, it's a face-to-face course on campus in those classrooms. So hopefully that clears up a little bit of the difference of the instructional methods. Now, when you registered for an online blended or hybrid course, you automatically received an email from my department. And it tells you you're registered in an online course, you're registered in a hybrid course, you're registered in a blended course. It gives you tech requirements, how to get started. Oops, sorry. And other key information. So whenever you registered, that's the date of that email. I'm explaining to you exactly what was in this email though. But I want to point out a couple things. It guides you to this, how to get started. Did any of you receive a text message from me that courses were going to start? If you're taking an online or blended, you probably did. And I keep sending students to the same place. So where I keep sending you is to our college website. I'm just going to go ahead and go there. Sorry, it's swirling a little bit. Glory, do you see the website? Okay. So under academics and online learning is where I sent you. So I sent it from the text, from the emails. We keep sending you from that auto email, it keeps sending you to the same place. So I just want to point it out because there's some important information here. On our website, you can see we've got the home page here, explains those 4 instructional methods that I just talked about. And there's some technology requirements, right? So technology requirements, if you're taking an online course, if you're taking really for any course that has, you need to access Blackboard and do all these things. Some of you have Chromebooks, and Chromebooks will work for certain courses, but they don't really let you download certain software. So if you're taking a computer programming course that requires you to have download a compiler, a Chromebook won't work. You're going to need a desktop or a laptop that has the ability to download software. Other courses, a Chromebook will work fine. Well, how are you going to find out? When you log into those courses in Blackboard, your instructor should tell you if you need certain technology. Not every course needs special technology, but if you're taking a CAD course, you got to put special programs on your computer. You're not going to be able to do that with a Chromebook. So I just want to point that out to you. But that information should be provided to you by your professors. For a blended course, you need to use Zoom. Now you're all managed to get on Zoom now, so I'm assuming you'll be able to do that just fine. You can download the app, the Zoom app. I use it on my phone all the time. I got a Zoom app on here, and you could participate that way. I'm guessing it's probably easier to sit at a desktop or on your Chromebook and Zoom, because in case there's some interactive assignments, I just asked you to post to my board. There may be some things that your professor wants you to do during class, and maybe it won't be as easy on a phone. But if you get in a jam, you can, of course, use a phone. Just can download the Zoom app to do that. You do it on your tablet as well. Now, I have a link here to the Zoom Help Center because they do the best job of explaining how do I do this, or what technology do I need, what operating systems work with it. Everything you need will be here. Now, you got to use the supported browser when using our Blackboard Learning Management System. When I go to Blackboard, I'm going to explain that in more detail. But you can see there's more information here about technology requirements and mobile devices. We get students who think they can do it in 100% online course on their smartphone. I build my course to make it as mobile friendly as possible, but a student still can't complete my entire course without going to use a desktop or laptop. So hopefully you'll have the technology that you need. So you can see there's some information here about if you want to download the Blackboard student app. There is a lot you can do. Don't get me wrong, but it just may not be able to do everything. There's a bunch of links here that will be very helpful to you about getting started, using Zoom, these different instructional methods. It's all here for you. But I want to point out one more thing is the FAQ section. We get a lot of these same questions all the time from students. So we created an FAQ document to hopefully help you out. So here's some questions, right? There's a lot of FAQs. Do I need to come to campus to take an online course? Click the plus, you're going to get the information that you need. You don't come to campus to take an online course. Some faculty will have an exam that is either you have to have it proctored or you come to campus, but they'll let you know that in the syllabus, and it's not a lot of them. For the most part, you take an online course, you do that 100% from where your home or wherever. Do we have online degree and certificate programs? So if you click this, we have full online degree programs and certificate programs, and they're all listed here. So these are all the programs that we offer on the online format and certificates. And so this website is a good place for you to go. But if you forget how to contact us, the contact page will be helpful because you can meet our staff. Here's Glory. She's our new student support specialist. And if you need any help, you can just shoot her an email, or you can send an email to, and I'll show it at the end, onlinelearning@niagaracc.suny.edu. It goes to all 3 of us. So then whoever's available answers you faster, right? Glory doesn't work every day. And so if you send it to the generic email, which Glory, as I'm noticing, needs to be on this page. We'll have to make a note of that. But one of us is going to get back to you quickly. we're very fast at responding to students' questions. Okay, so back to my slide. That was a little bit about getting started in the emails, and it sends you to that document. So I'm going to go ahead and log into Blackboard now, and I'm going to show you a couple things. One is this online student success orientation course. We have a course that we built that you can go through. You have access to it 24/7. You can do as much or as little as you need to do. If you're new to these modes and you're feeling a little anxiety or stressed, go through, spend a couple hours going through it, and I bet you it's going to help to guide you on where you get help. How do you do that? If you're new to Blackboard and you don't know how to navigate it and you're not sure how to submit an assignment or, view documents, participate in discussion, we have some activities in there to teach you how to do this. You can access this at any time. And like I said, we're going to do a demonstration and I'm going to show you that. So it has 4 modules. Module 1, 2, 3 is how to succeed, and 4 is where do you get help, right? We've got the library, the Academic Center for Excellence. I mentioned all those things already. So this module 4 would be where you find information about getting help. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go do a demonstration, and I'm going to show you how we can do some of these things. I just want to see the chat going here, so let me just stop for a moment and check it.
Lisa, I've been answering them as they come in.
Franco's got a question. Franco, are you saying, is it an online course, hybrid, blended? Are you talking about logging into Zoom or just logging into your course in Blackboard?
Well, I would say logging into Zoom, but it can also mean logging into Blackboard.
Okay. In Zoom, you're going to log in and you need to have your name as is, so they know that they're going to take attendance. It tracks that you've been on that Zoom.
Okay.
It will track if you log in and off too. They'll know if you stay the whole Zoom session or not. They can get a quick usage report.
All right.
So that's for Zoom. For Blackboard, when you log in, that's tracked as well. I could search by student in my class, and I could tell what you clicked on, how long you participated or spent on certain activities, and how often you logged in. And I can also look at all the submissions that you have. So in an online course, attendance is not tracked by logging in. It's tracked by the things you do. So most online courses will have you submitting something, whether it's a discussion, an assignment, a question. They'll probably have you do something that you have to turn in about 3 days per week, because the submissions will account for 3 days of attendance. Does that clarify your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
How do I save the links to my favorites? Jamie, are you talking about like the online learning site? You just want to save it to a favorite?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when you're in your browser, I think you could just click on it. And if you drag it over, I think you could just drag it to, do you see the little, are you in Google Chrome, or what browser are you using?
I'm using Google Chrome.
Okay. You see the link at the top here? Can you see what I'm pointing to?
Yeah.
There's a little star here.
Yeah.
And basically that bookmarks it.
Oh, okay.
They call it a bookmark. It says, some call favorites in certain browsers. In Chrome, they call it a bookmark.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so now we got to go to Blackboard. We're going to go do that. So in Blackboard, the easiest way to get to Blackboard is this. Go to the college website, right? niagaracc.suny.edu. This is our college website. And on the right-hand side, just got to relaunch it. Up here at the top, you're going to see the section, My NCCC. If you do it on a smartphone, you got to click that little 3-lined hamburger menu for it to come up. But just select Blackboard Learn. So here I am, and I'm going to log out of Blackboard because I want to show you something important before you log in. I know I should have had it closed. I had it open here, and that's the problem. So I'm going to close it. I'm just going to close it and go back in here because I want to show you before you log in, there's something very important that you need to know. So I apologize for having to go back. Come on. All right, my NCC, Blackboard Learn. Now I should have to log in. Oh, and Lisa, I clicked the wrong link. Let's go here. Blackboard Learn. Okay. So this is the login screen. So I'm not even authenticated. There's some information and links here that could be very helpful to you. Information about what to expect. This document here shows you what classes are allowed to be on campus. It's like clinicals. It's just a very few that are allowed to be on campus for the first 2 weeks or till February 1st. But when you look at this login here, that's the button you'll use to log in. But this is what I want to point out. You need to have 3 green check marks. If you don't, you'll want to click on this, the red things, to find out how to adjust your browser settings. So you got to allow for pop-ups, cookies enabled, and that. So if you don't have those 3 green check marks, you might not be using the proper browser. Blackboard works best with Google Chrome, an updated version of Google Chrome. It does work with Safari, but we have had some students have some problems. They say, my teacher's telling me to submit an assignment, but I don't see the submit assignment button. It's because it does certain versions of Safari, it doesn't work. So if you have Edge or Internet Explorer, do not use those with Blackboard Learn. Those two don't really work with any of the college technologies, from DegreeWorks to Starfish to Blackboard and all those things. Chrome is going to be your best bet, and you can download Chrome on a Mac. Some people I've known, Safari has worked, so I'm guessing it might be the versioning, but this is going to tell you the SUNY Online Help Desk is a service that helps all of the SUNY schools with their online efforts. They have evening and weekend hours and a help desk that you can, in a great FAQ section. If it comes to Blackboard Learn and you've got questions about any of this, that's where you want to go, the SUNY Online Help Desk. They will be able, they probably answered every question students have had within the SUNY system about Blackboard a million times over. So they're going to be able to help you. So we want to make sure we got the 3 green check marks before we move on to Blackboard. So now I'm going to log in. The login is the same as your T-Wolves username and password. Same as logging into Banner Web, right? So I'm logged in now. And now I have some extra tabs here. I have, I'm just going to move this out of the way. So I have a system admin tab. You're not going to have that. I have a faculty staff tab. You're not going to have that, but you are going to have a few of these tabs. So before we go into the course and before I show you the student orientation, I want to just show you the student tab because I think there's some valuable and helpful information in here for you. When you're in the student section, there's a place to get some help. You need Blackboard help, tutoring, all kinds of links here. We put them all here to make it easy for you so you don't have to go save them in your bookmarks or favorites. They're all here for you, right? You need some information, records and registration forms, other resources through the college. There's all these links. So we put it here to make it like a one-stop place for you to get some information you need. But I want to point this section out to you. It says student training and technology resources. If you don't have the Office 365 suite on your computer, as a student of this college, you could download it free, and you could do so on a Mac or PC. And the instructions are in this link to do that. So if you want to have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access, you could do so by clicking on this link. You need to use your college email because it's free for faculty, staff, and students with our college email. Also, a little bit about getting started in Zoom. And this Who Knew It training, this is a database of technology training tips. There's all kinds. If you wanted to learn, maybe you say, I need to know PowerPoint. If you go to Who Knew It training, search PowerPoint, there's short videos to show you everything you could want to know. If you wanted to know how to just animate a PowerPoint, record in a PowerPoint, you could go right to that. So this is available 24/7 to all faculty, staff, and students. There's a lot of, here, if you want to learn how to write HTML or create a web page or use Wix, I mean, trust me when I tell you, there's just thousands of topics. And this is the place you can go to do that. I see my chat blinking, so I'm gonna stop real quick before I move on with my demonstration. Let's see what we got. Yes, the recording will be available. Perfect.
Lisa, can you just answer the question about the pop-ups? Maybe show them how to get
You have to
accept the
accept
pop-ups.
one of the, yeah, when you're, okay, I can't really show you because mine is on, but you will see a little icon here when your pop-up is not available. I think it should be here. So if your pop-up is not accepted, you would click a little button here, and then you would have to say always allow for that. Yeah, oh, red X on pop-up. Yeah, so you're gonna go up here, and there should be a there should be a little icon that you would click to allow for the pop-up. And if you ever have to refresh your screen, a little trick is to click F5 on your keyboard and it will refresh it. So that should do it. Okay, I'm going to go. So that was the student section. So just want to make sure you're familiar with that. You'll also notice along this section here, you could get to your TWUBS email, the library, degree works. That's where your degree works. If you're not familiar with it, that's your degree evaluation, tells you every course you've taken, what you still need to earn your certificate or degree, what your GPA is, all of those kind of things. Banner web is where you go to look at course offerings, where you go to look at your schedule. Speaking of the schedule, if the course is a late start course or a module course, if the course doesn't start Tuesday, if it doesn't have the traditional start date of Tuesday, you won't have access to that course in Blackboard until 5 days before it starts. So let's just say that it's a module course and it starts March 1st. You won't have access to the course itself in Blackboard until 5 days before. So if you log in, if you have a course that you don't have access to, it may be that it doesn't start yet. So I always tell people to check your course schedule in Banner Web. This is where you log in to go register for classes, add, drop them, pay your bill, right? Everything's in Banner Web there. Starfish, if you're not familiar with Starfish, this is where you can find your success network. I am going to take 1 minute to click on this because I think it's important. Starfish is our early alert system. For me as an instructor, I can give you kudos. I apologize for my dog. I could give you kudos. I could flag you for not attending or completing your work. And then your success coach is probably going to call and reach out to you to, see if you need help or assistance. So it's a tool I can use, but you can use it as well. When you log in, I'm an advisor and I'm a faculty member, so I have a little different view. But you will see this little hamburger menu, that's what that's called, those little lines. And you'll see a link on your left-hand side that says Success Network. That Success Network is going to tell you everyone who all your teachers are. If you're taking an online blended or hybrid course, Glory's going to be in there as your online student support specialist. And if you have an academic advisor, they're going to be listed in your Success Network. And also just any other key people that are part of your Success Network to help you succeed at NCCC. Their phone numbers will be there, and there's a link to message them. So that would be in Starfish here. And I got there through Blackboard. So I'm going to go back to, I'm going to close this down now and go back to my tour. Okay, so I'm back in Blackboard. So now I want to go to the My NCC section. And in there, you're going to see these little areas. They're just called modules, but this is the orientation course. And when I record this session, I'm going to make this recording was from fall. I'm going to put our new recording here. I have a printable version of our orientation. It's a PDF file. But if you click Start Orientation Course, this is just there and available to you 24/7. This is the course I mentioned. If you are new to online learning, blended or hybrid, or you're new to Blackboard, this is where you could spend some time between now and when the courses begin to kind of get you acclimated and ready to go. So it's got a Start Here section, which is what we're on. There's a welcome. There's a welcome video from me. It's under 5 minutes. Tells you how to get started and what to do. And then it's guiding you to learning modules. And these learning modules will take you to these 4 modules. Like I said, you could do one or all of them. But when you see a folder on Blackboard, that means there's more content. So you would click on it. And I'm going to go into a student preview so it would look just like it would look if you logged in. So here's module 1, right? There was a folder there. I opened that. It kind of gives you some instructions on what to do. There's some information here about, are you ready for online learning? How to succeed, good time management, computer, is your browser compatible? A lot of these things are going to show you inside here, shows you how to, get your pop-up blocker off and all those kind of things. The second module talks about how to use Blackboard Learn, right? How to communicate, how to work with assignments, discussions, tests. So these are things that could be really helpful if you're new to this and you're not sure how to do this. How to succeed. This section, we have some essential skills and strategies to help you, be an effective online learner. You'll notice that sometimes it goes to that Who Knew It site. Remember, I showed you that. That's where you could go to get help with learning different technologies. But there's also some other things inside Who Knew It that could be helpful to online learners. So they're part of our orientation. And we have some additional resources. The 4th module is where to find help, right? So how do I get help with certain things? We have some information in here. The last thing I want to point out is we have a wrap up and participate section. When you click on this the first time, down at the bottom, there's going to be an enroll button. So you click the enroll button, which is going to allow you to do these activities. Wrap up and participate is Glory actually monitors this to see who submits things, but there's some assignments here to give you some practice, copy and pasting, submitting an attachment and things. And this is just a simple little quiz about the orientation, because this is the test and quiz tool in Blackboard. This is the assignment tool in Blackboard. We wanted to give you a little chance to, just learn these tools if you're new to Blackboard or any of these modes of learning. So this is available always to you. Here's the link to that SUNY Online Help Desk. You could spend as little or as much time as needed. Obviously, if you're new to this, we would hope that you would do it all, because I think it could really help, make that difference if you're ready to really begin in these modes of learning starting next week, and could definitely aid in your success. So that is here. That you also notice that it was in that student tab, right? So again, we've got things for help. We keep trying to put it everywhere so you don't have to look too far to get help. There's some student support information for Zoom. If you need to contact the Student Resource Center, those links here. So we're just trying to give you, information there. But now we're going to go to a course. And I know it's 3:08, so I want to make sure you know what a course should look like. So you should see your courses in this. You could see it 2 ways, My NCC, or just go to courses. Either way, you should see the courses that you're registered for. And 202110 means 2021-10 is spring, 20 is summer, 30 is fall. But you should see just your courses here for spring. So you just click on the course to enter it. Now I'm showing you my course. Mine's an online course. And I'm going to go into a student preview because I just want to show you what most courses will look pretty similar. I can't guarantee you how much information your professors have in there, but we have asked that they all at least have an announcement to help you to get started. They're still working on their courses over this weekend, but we hope they at least have an announcement for you and a syllabus and possibly a schedule. So when you were to log in, if you were logging into my course, you would see I have a welcome message here. And that's what you would click on. My welcome message to my students is pretty detailed of what I want them to do to get started. I also invited them to an optional meet and greet Zoom session next week. I can't force them to do it because it's an online course, but I asked them to make every effort because I promised them that this 1 hour will save them a lot more time in the long run. And I'll record it and share it with my students. So this is the announcements. I'm very clear on what they need to do to start and how to be ready for the semester start of January 19th. So this tells them to go look at my course information, getting started information. That's what it tells them to do. Go to the course information, getting started. So this is the menu here is called the course navigation menu. If by chance you don't see this, it's because it's collapsed. And if you scroll down, you see this little arrow will pop up. If you don't see it, then you got to scroll and find that and expand it, but it should open up. So in here, I have stuff for my students. I have a schedule with due dates and timelines for them to print. I have my course information and syllabus. I made a welcome video for my students, and I even have some steps to get started. Now, I don't know how much your professor should have, but they should have a little bit of something for you so you know what to do when you got to start classes next week. I have a learning module section. This is where most of the course content, if your professors are having you do work in Blackboard and submit it, it's going to appear in this learning modules content section. So when my students click on this, they're going to see my contact information. I always like to let them know how they can contact me. I have live office hours in Zoom, but I have a folder. These are steps to get started through 122. So class starts on 119, but I want them to do it for the first couple days. And this is that exact folder I just showed you, my steps to get started. Right? So on the, after the 22nd, I'm going to open another learning module. And it's closed for students. I don't want them to see it just yet, but I'm going to go ahead and show you my view so you can see what it might look like. So when I open the second mod or a first real content module, you can see I have them hidden. All my course is ready to go, but they're hidden for students. But when I open it in Learning Module 1, I have a narrated video for what's going to happen in Learning Module 1. What are the outcomes? It links to my schedule so they know all their due dates. And then I have activities that they're going to do. Right? This icon is just something, it's a link that goes out. It's just a web link. This is an assignment. This is a discussion forum, and this is an assignment, which is a learning journal. Faculty are going to have different kinds of activities for you, but knowing what these icons are would be helpful. So that's an example of what I call a learning module. A lot of times in online courses, we chunk content into modules to go so that students have a time period to go over the content. In a blended course, you may just do Zoom and your professor may say, here's your assignment, and email it to me. Or they might say, I put the assignment in Blackboard in the course, and then you could go do the work there. Same in a hybrid. You might meet on when you can after February 1st, go on campus. You might meet once a week, and then they might say, here's your assignment, and email it, or they might say, come to Blackboard and do it. So the key is that you need to communicate with your instructors on what to do. And they should have something in your courses in Blackboard to guide you on at least how to start those first couple of days. So I just want to show you a little bit more on this side. I'm going to go back to student preview because I certainly don't want to confuse you with things that I might have available to me and not to a student. So that's where you find your content. I put direct links to my syllabus and schedule to make it easy for students. Here's all my announcements, get started. But when you're looking for your grades, they're in my grades. That's where you want to go to look for your grades. And inside your grades, I don't have anything in here. There should be no grades for my class. But if I give feedback on a graded assignment, usually, like there's nothing due yet, but see, this is out of 10 points. When an instructor gives you a grade, if there's a little blue link to click, that means they put additional feedback and you can click on that link to get the additional feedback. So just be aware of that. I didn't grade anything yet. I don't have anything started. So that's where you could go look for your grades. If they're using the grade book and if they're having you submit things in Blackboard, that's where you would see grades. If they're choosing not to do Blackboard, then they're probably going to, have another way to give you the grades. Students, when you want to email your instructor, there's usually a link that says email or email the instructor. You just click on that link. And if you just do all instructors, you're only going to have one. So if you click all instructors, like I am the instructor, so it would auto populate that and it looks just like an email. You know, I need help with something. Oops. I guess I clicked on something wrong over here. Sorry. So you put a subject in and then you would type your message, right? And all you have to do is submit it. You can attach a file if you need to. And I'm going to get it in my email, my college email. If I respond to you, the response will go to your college T-Wolves email. But you can easily email your professors from the course. So if you log in and there's no instructions for you to get started for next Tuesday, in the course navigation menu, in that course, email your instructor and ask them what you're supposed to do. Okay, so I'm going to get out of this email section. And where did I do that? I did that in this section, email. If you've got questions, most people have an ask a question. It's a discussion forum. If you got questions that maybe would be helpful, public nature to benefit the class, you could ask them here. And all you got to do is, you know, you might have a button that says new thread, or you click on that link and then you could click create thread and post your question, right? And so then when I answer it, everyone in the class can see it. If you need a question of private nature, obviously the email would be a better option. If your professors have set up any discussion forum to have a subscribe button, you can subscribe, which is what I'm going to do. And by subscribing, anytime I get a question in this forum, I get an email about it. And I get to see the question. It prompts me to come in here and respond to you. Other discussion forums, if used in a course, if you subscribe to it, you'll be able to see the activity that's going on. And if you're logged into Blackboard, you can reply from your email. So it's just a feature. I just wanted to point it out in case you wanted to use that. You can see that there's other information down the left side of the course navigation menu. There's this links to NCCC resources, course resources, our Academic Center for Excellence, which is tutoring services and Blackboard help, the SUNY Online Help Desk, right to the library, to your Starfish Success Network. I have some other things for my class, but you should see most of those in each of your courses in Blackboard. So I am at 317. I'm going to exit out of here. And I want to go back, excuse me, to this board to make sure. Okay, so there was one question on the board that says, how is the course going to work with anatomy and physiology? What exactly does blended course mean? So I explained what blended is. You should see information inside your course in Blackboard about how this particular course is going to run. So definitely want to do that. TBA on a schedule means that there's no time. It means it's an online course. So I don't tell you what time you have to log into my online course, but I have timelines and due dates. So if I say something has to be due by 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, February 22nd, I don't care what time you log in and do it. It just needs to be done by the due date and submitted. So that's what TBA means. It means to be announced. It's just that Banner Web has no other way to put in there. I wish it would say web. It means it's an online course and there's not a date and time that you log in live with your class. Okay, I'm going to go back to the chat and then we'll make sure we've answered those questions. Yeah, you should see, if you registered for a course today, you will not see it till after 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. If you registered for a course prior to today, you should see and have access to it in Blackboard. The only way you wouldn't is if it's a course that doesn't start Tuesday. That's why I say check your schedule. If the course is a module course, or a late start course, starts in April, starts in March, you won't have access to it in Blackboard until 5 days prior. But for everything else, you should be able to see it. So you can't go, you couldn't go to that discussion board to ask a question because I was showing my course and I don't think you're a student in my course. But when you're in your courses, if the faculty member has enabled the ask a question inside your course, it will be in the course navigation menu for you to click on and ask. All right, so let's bring this back up. We are almost, we've got a few minutes. I've got about 10 minutes left. Is there, we could go ahead. There's not too many people on. So, you know, if you want to ask a question, you can unmute and go, you can ask me, but I want to make sure that you feel comfortable knowing what you should be doing to get started before, you know, the courses begin next Tuesday. You can unmute if you need to.
I know someone asked if they need a printer to do online classes. I thought that was a good question.
You know what? Probably not. I don't even have a printer at my house, and the coordinator of online learning, and I do everything electronic. But if you like to print things and read them, right? It might be beneficial. I don't think you need one, but the course schedule, you know what I mean? In your course syllabus, you might want to print, and you could easily go to like an Office Max. And if you email those documents to yourself, you can grab them at Office Max and print them there. So if you don't have to do a lot of printing, right? You could go in a place like that and print it, or Office Depot, whatever it's called. You know what I mean? One of those centers or any place that lets you print. The college, on your college card, I believe you could do the library and the ACE Center you could swipe your card and then you could print things there. But I don't think you're going to be able to do that till after February 1st. They're going to have limited access on campus. Did that answer your question?
Yep, I think so.
Great. How about anyone else?
Lisa, we have a question about needing Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint.
Is it in the chat?
Yes.
I don't see it. You want to read it to me? Oh, are we going to need to have Microsoft
Yes.
Word? You know, a lot of courses, no. Some courses you might. So I wanted to point out that Office 365 is free, because if you need it, don't buy it, right? It's part of the fees that you pay. So if you you don't have to use Word or PowerPoint, but let's just say a professor gives you an assignment. You know, a lot of us use Google Docs. And I want to show you this because if you're familiar with using Google Docs, I use Google Docs for everything. I have, can you see my Google Docs? Is that coming up for you to see? You know, you can upload a file. Docs is like Word, Sheets is like Excel, and Slides are like PowerPoint. I showed you my slideshow from Google Slides. Forms. So I'm going to just pull up a Google document just to show you. I don't want it to be too long, so I'll just grab whatever this, I don't even know what it is. It's a document though. So if you create something in Google Docs and you have a document, and this is all stored in the cloud, free and open to everybody. If your professor, there are professors who don't want to take the Google Doc link, they want the file. So let me show you this. I don't care if you're in Slides, Sheets, or Docs. In Google Docs, if you go to File and you choose Download, you see you could save it in a Word file. You wouldn't even need Word. You could save it in a PDF. It's gonna, if I choose Word file, it's gonna, look, it downloaded to my computer right here. And now it's gonna launch Word if you have it, or it'll open up. So you can see it's launching and there it is. So you can just save a Google Doc, download it to a Word file, and there you go, or PDF. Now I love using Google Docs, and the reason is because I have so many documents that I want to store. I've got folders and files and all kinds of slideshows. So here's a presentation. I created it in Google Slides. I did not use PowerPoint, so it's launching. But if I want to share this with somebody, I could do file. I could download it as a PowerPoint file, PPT, or better yet, I like to do a PDF, then people can open it, right? And PDF files are easily open on mobile devices too. But you could do that. The other way is to share. I mean, while I'm giving you a little tip, I think this is really important with Google Docs. It works with anything in these Google Slides, all of them. If you want to share a link with somebody and you just want to give them access to view your work, you click the share button in the upper right-hand corner. I know, it's just taking a minute to load, but it's going to load and you get an option to get a shareable link. Hopefully it's going to come up sooner than later here. There you go. So see, share with people in groups. If I wanted to give Glory in my office editing rights, I could click her name and you see it says editor. That means someone can edit your document with you. You can work on it collaboratively together. I don't want to do that. I want to just say, I want to give this to my professor and I just want to give them access to view it. I have to do this link. It has to say anyone with this link can view, right? Because if it doesn't, they're not going to have the username and password to log in and see your info. So what you do is you just copy that link. Anyone on the internet with this link can view, and that's what you could share in the assignment form for your teachers to view your work. Now, of course, I'm the kind of teacher, I'll take the link. It's super easy. I click the link, I see your work, I can give you grades. I literally do know some professors that are freaked out by that. I don't know why. And they want you to submit it in an attachment. So if you have a professor that is just maybe not up to speed on some of these technologies, if you will, go to File, download, and give them the file that they want. PPTX or PDF. Or if it's a document, right? A Word document. So was that a helpful tip for some of you who might be using Google Docs? Great. Anyone else? We got a couple minutes. Yes, go ahead.
I have a quick question, please.
Go ahead.
I was wondering, didn't you mention that we could do a Blackboard app? Like we can download one?
Yeah.
Okay, and how, would I just put in, how would I write that in so that I can make sure it's the right app?
Okay, so what I want you to do, I'm going to send you a link in the chat. It's from our online learning center. And is it Queen Yai? I'm trying to, you gave me another name to call you. You're next. I know you had a question.
For me?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give her this link and then I'm gonna let you go on with your questions. So Kara, I'm going back to the online learning web page
Okay.
that I showed you, but there's information on that mobile. So
Thank
I'll give
you.
you the link. I'll share it right. And it's here at the bottom of this link. It'll give you info about getting the app. Okay.
Oh, thank you. And I'm sorry I cut the other person off.
No, it's okay. I know it's hard, but don't worry about it. We'll answer the questions. So I'm just sharing that direct link with you in the chat.
Excellent, thanks.
Okay, go ahead. Your question.
So I know that we could buy textbooks and Barnes and Nobles from NCCC, but can we buy the textbooks from Amazon instead of using Barnes and Nobles from NCCC?
You bring up an excellent question about books. A lot of, if your faculty or professor requires a book, they might require a certain edition. Where you get it is up to you. But I want to point this out. A lot of faculty use, and I'm going to show you this. A lot of faculty use, I'm going to go to another professor's course who I know won't mind because I'm going to show you something that you might see in your courses. A lot of our courses use what's called First Day. And it's access to a digital book that's much cheaper than buying the book. And it will be automatically billed to your account, or you can opt out. So if you see a course that has this, I want to point this out. So let me show you a course that has this, one of those books. And you'll know
Because the
because
reason
it'll
why-
tell you that this first, if you go to the bookstore and you look up a course, it's going to say this course uses first day. It's called first day.
Because the reason
Um,
why I asked is because I know that you have to pay the bill for buying the book from Barnes and Nobles, and I know that paying the bill is an adult thing, but I just thought buying it on Amazon, so I don't have to pay the bill for buying a book in Barnes and Nobles from NCCC.
Yeah, it's going to be based on the course, but so I want to give you this example. You know, when you go into your courses, all those course materials should be posted. If you see this, do you see, this is one of Professor Nemi's courses. Do you see it says course materials first day? Do you see that link I'm pointing
Yeah.
to? Okay, when I click on this, now I'm as the instructor in his course, but it launches a link and it provides you immediate access to the digital version of the materials. A lot of faculty use this. I don't know what's in your courses. You're going to have to go take a look. But if you see this, this book is only $59.99, the ebook access, inclusive access, and it's automatically going to be on your bill unless you opt out. So you have to click on it and opt out by February 2nd if you can secure those materials yourself. For most students, this book to buy is $260. So for most people, this is a bargain, right? So you're going to need to go into your courses and take a look and see if they're doing this particular thing. If you go to the bookstore itself, the bookstore is going to tell you. If it's not one of these digital first day low cost books, and they want you to buy a book, very few publishers even publish these books now. They want you to do digital access. It's much less expensive. If you find it cheaper, like Professor Nemi says, you have to have Consumer Behavior 13th edition. And in his course, you can't complete this course without that book. So if Amazon has a 11th edition, it may not be what you need, right? So I want to just make sure before you make those decisions that you go into each of your courses, look at the course materials that they're requiring and find out, and then you could decide if buying it from another source might be a better option. Does that make
Because it really-
sense?
Yes, but which one is better, buying it on Amazon or buying in Barnes and Nobles? Because it's a
Well,
way.
I don't know. I don't, you know, if you're trying to get the same materials, I don't know. It's going to be based on the book itself. I don't know, you know, what the book is or what the price might be.
It's from English 102, and it's a book from English 102, and I thought buying it on Amazon so I won't like pay the bill, because I understand that.
Is
paying
it
the
one of
bill-
these first day things that you're supposed to have?
Yeah.
Well, then
and I
you
still
have
to
to, if you want to buy the book itself on Amazon, is it the same edition, the same ISBN number? You need to make sure of that. And if it's cheaper and it saves you money, go for it. But if you have one of these, you're going to need to opt out by February 2nd if you have a first day option.
I'm talking about the English 102 book that was on Barnes and Nobles, and what I did was I copy and pasted from the search box from Amazon, and it shows like the same picture of it of what it shows from Barnes and Nobles.
I think this is a great question for you to talk to your professor about when classes begin, just to make sure. You probably can email them this weekend too, because I don't want you to buy it and not have the right materials. So I can't tell you because I didn't set up what that course requirements are for that book. But I would think that's something you should communicate with your instructor with. Like go into the course and click email and email your professor to ask those questions about the book. Because I don't want you to buy something and then it not be the right thing. That's all I'm saying.
So what I need
Okay.
to ask him,
Yeah, for sure. Don't ever hesitate. That's what they're there for. They want to help you get off to a great start. So, ask those questions. All right, we are over our time. I could probably take one more question. If not, you can always reach out to Glory and she can answer your questions. Yes, go ahead.
so what kind of questions I need to ask my instructor about the book?
Well, go log into the course, see what the course requirements are, and ask them if you could purchase it from Amazon instead. Okay?
All right.
All right, well, thank you for joining us today. We are always here to help. If you want, you can always send an email to, I wish I had it on my slide.
I can
think
put
I
it
have
on
it
the
here. I
chat.
do.
Okay.
On my last slide here, this email address is the email that goes to myself, Donna, and Glory, and whoever gets to it first is going to answer your question, or we're going to get you to the right place. We may not always be the one to answer your question. It may be your instructor that's the best person, or maybe a success coach, or maybe a department on the college, but I assure you, we will get you where you need to go and do the best we can to help you. So that is a good email to have. And if you have further questions and we didn't get to them today, please feel free to email them, and we'll get to you as soon as we can. I see one more thing in the chat, and then we're going to, oh, thanks. Yep. Glory posted it in the chat so you can copy it. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great semester. We are running this same session on Tuesday. So if you participated today, you don't need to do it again Tuesday. I just want, it's the same one. We're just giving it a second alternate to do that. So if you have questions, let us know, but hopefully you'll have a great semester. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Yes, you as well.